Hi everyone, this is Jim. Welcome to this Blitz chess postmortem. This is a postmortem of my Blitz game number 236. I was white here, kicked off with e4, and my opponent played d5, the Scandinavian defense. He went with the knight f6 line, which is the line I play myself, and takes the pawn back. So it wasn't really a gambit, it was just leaving the pawn there for a move till he scooped it up with a knight. The other way to take it is to take it with the queen, and that's maybe the main line, but this is playable too. So I get hit out with c4 right away, or play knight f3 first, and then he goes with the g6 line. The other idea is bishop g4 immediately, and then c4 kicking the knight retreats, and now knight c3, just normal developing moves. And after bishop g7, now it's maybe time to worry about this pawn. You can see that in the opening book, the most common move here is h3, just stopping the bishop from pinning the knight. The pawn currently is defended by the queen and the knight, and it's attacked by the queen and the bishop. So it's evenly defended, but with the pin, it would start to become a problem. So you need to do something about the pawn. I chose the move d5 as a way of dealing with the problem, and this leaves me with some edge, but I think the other moves are better. Problem with the move like d5 is it gives up squares, so now black potentially has counterplay on these dark squares. But my opponent castles, and I develop my bishop. He brings his bishop out to f5, and then I castle. And then after this, actually, my opponent makes a mistake, which gives me a pretty significant edge. He plays this knight to d7. Looks like just c6 right away. Undermining the center is the way to go, and that's how I would play here. But after this move, in addition to being kind of a slow move, it's this knight has gone from home to this square, to this square, to this square, to this square, and you'll see in a little bit he moves it to that square. So it's on quite a long journey early in the game, and so I should get some advantage out of this. Just on general principles, he's wasted a lot of knight moves, and it's not clear that it's really paid off. So I play knight d4, which is the top choice, just going after this bishop, because now this bishop is sort of stranded out here. He can't retreat back, and it's going to get traded off. So it's good to grab the bishop pair when you get the chance, assuming there are no other issues, and it also messes up his structure, his pawn structure on the king side. So I have a pretty significant edge here, although he has enough pieces around his king, so there's no immediate mating attack or anything, but I can look forward to that maybe in the future, taking advantage of some of these weaknesses. Okay, I went bishop to f4 here. So we get some normal moves. He defends, play queen c2, hitting his undefended f-pawn. He plays e6 to defend, rook a d1. So I'm getting all my pieces in the game. This part is probably okay. And then knight b5, going on a knight adventure, but it's got a real target here. And after c6, I kind of missed my opportunity. What c6 did was it opened up the square on d6, and I really should take advantage of that. And the way to play this, the recommended procedure from the chess engine, is to take here. And I thought about this move, taking, because my knight is under attack, but when I grab a pawn, his knight is under attack too. So his best is to just take back, and then I can drop a knight here on d6, defended by the rook, and later on I maybe even play the move c4 to c5, cementing that knight and make this knight a real thorn in black's side here. So that would have been the best way to play. Instead I play knight d4, still keeping an edge, but not as big as it was. And my opponent takes, where was that? That was, yeah, he takes d4. And I thought he was just going to grab the pawn. He can win a pawn here, but it leaves him with all these pawns would be isolated, and these would be doubled. It would be very weak. So it's actually not a good move to take that pawn. And what he played is the engine recommendation, rook a c8, developing a piece, hitting my queen, and then he went knight to g6. Cancel that. Knight to g6. Attacking my knight. My knight, though, was adequately defended, so I wasn't particularly worried about that. Although I kind of miscounted here. I played bishop g5, thinking his queen would be forced to go to e5, but actually he could just take the knight, and he did. So he gets a knight, and a queen, and I get a bishop and a queen. So pretty much an even trade. Although I have a pair of bishops and he has the pair of knights, so it's a slight edge. But a lot of the force has gone out of the position, so my advantage actually is not as strong as it was earlier in the game. So knight b6, the game continues. I finally, yeah, maybe this was the best way to keep the advantage was to take here. And the problem with pushing the pawn, it's hard to tell. This is one of those judgment calls. You have to decide if this pawn is going to be a strength or a weakness. If you can push it through or make threats with it, then it's a strong pawn. But if your opponent can surround it and capture it with his pieces, then it's a weak pawn. And I thought, for one thing, I thought my bishop controlling the d square, the d8 square, was going to be a big help. But he plays f6 immediately, which I should have been able to predict that. And now, you know, I don't really have any great square for this bishop. And so my advantage has really shrunk, and basically the game is about even for the next sequence of moves. It stays about even for a while here. So these are kind of normal moves. I'm trying to put some pressure on his knight and trying to find ways to attack his pawns. He's got a weakness here. If I could get the bishop to b3, maybe put some pressure on it. But he's active with his knight. He's attacking my rook and my bishop. And so let's back up. He actually equalized with that move. So this bishop d1 idea is a mistake. I have to deal with this knight to c6 threat. And the recommended move is rook f to d1. So let's try this out. Rook f d1. And then if he plays knight c6, go bishop takes, similar to the game, a takes. And then just drop the rook back or play it out to a4 or h4. Okay, just have to move the rook now. So something similar happened in the game. It's just I played the move bishop d1. He went knight c6 here, and now I take. And the idea is if he takes the knight, now if he takes the rook, then I'll take his other knight, and I'll have gotten two pieces for the rook, and that will be good for me. I'll have two bishops and a rook against two rooks. Advantage to white. So he just takes the bishop, which is the right move, and now I have to move the rook. And now, yeah, it really is about equal here. So I guess in the other situation, my bishop was more actively placed and my rooks were already doubled. So he's going to go after this weak d-pawn now. And, well, I do get my bishop b3 move in to try and attack this weak e-pawn, but he defends it. Double up the rooks. And then I push on with d7 with the idea of playing the rook to d6 and trying to win the pawn on e6. And his best move here is rook c7. Okay, he played that. I play here, and now he should play knight to c4. Yeah, that's the way to play it. So with knight to c4, it just blocks my bishop's view of the e-pawn. So simple idea. It looks like I have nothing better than to take. And the game is very much in the range of equality. So this was sort of Black's last chance to hold the game. Instead he played knight takes d7. And this just loses a piece because this pawn is hanging with check. So bishop takes, hits the king with check, and wherever the king goes I can grab the knight. I thought for a while king e7 would hold on to things, so let's check this out. Bishop takes f5. I guess I can just pin. Yeah, I can't win a piece, but I can keep this piece is pinned here. He's not threatening to take anything, and I can start attacking his pawns. Okay, so that would be the best play for Black, and still it's winning. He moved his king away to g6, and then I can just take the knight. And we played on a few more moves, but basically I'm just winning from here. Let's see, there was only one more trick, which is, yeah, bishop to f5 check is a winning move here, too. I wanted to be careful not to get mated on the back rank. So if you move the bishop somewhere without check, for example here, this is a really bad move. You see it's losing. He can just take the rook, and I can't take back because I'll get mated. So just to show that, checkmate. So I do have to be a bit careful. So I played the move g3 here, so as not to have to worry about that. He pushed on with b4, and now I play bishop takes f5 check. And so this is a nice tactic. It's just exposing an attack on his rook here, and it's with check. So he needs to take the bishop. He took with the king, and I grabbed the rook. And now I'm just a rook up, and he doesn't even have pawns to compensate. He has no passed pawns. So there's really no hope for black in this position. So I'll just kind of speed through the rest of the moves. There weren't any big mistakes here. Played this a little slower than I needed to, probably. But, I didn't want to lose the game. Here, let's back up. There was a mated 4 there. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, right here. So it's white's turn to move. Okay, I just blocked his rook. But it's always fun to find these mates. So rook d6 is a nice checkmating threat because I'm going to come over here, and he can't come forward, and he can't come to this square. So his king is completely in a box. So this recommends rook c6. Rook takes c6. Okay, that was just a desperado move. h6, rook to d5, b3, and then rook takes checkmate. So his king just can't escape the box, and he can't stop me from taking those pawns and delivering mate. Okay, very straightforward mate. Okay, like I say, I was playing in a very simple fashion, just holding on to my material and pushing forward. And eventually I realized, oh, well, now I've got a mating threat over here. Starting about here, yeah, this is when I realized I've got a mating threat. Because I've got this rook sealing his king in, the other rook can check, and then the other rook, the first rook can drop back and mate on the back rank. So I eventually realized that after a few more checks. There's the first check. There's the rook coming over. The placement of this rook is so that his rook can't get in to the back rank, but actually it probably didn't matter. I could have gone almost anywhere on the 6th rank. Rook e6, rook b6, rook a6. Okay, yeah, so I chose rook e6. They're all the same. And so he took a pawn, so he gets a couple more checks, but now I can checkmate. And that's how the game ended. So hope you guys found that interesting. Leave any comments you have in the section below, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.